Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Bala Jaya Girivara Hari Jaya Girivara Hari. Gopi Jana Bala Jaya Girivara Hari Jaya Girivara Hari. Yasodanandana Jaya Raja Janarandana Yasodanandana Jaya Raja Janarandana Muna Tira Muna Chai Jai Ho Kunja Bihari Jai Kunja Bihari. Muna Tira Muna Chari Jayo Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari. Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Bala Jai Girivara Hari Jai Girivara Hari. Gopi Janama Dama Jai Ho Girivara Jai Girivara Jai Yasudanandana Jai Rajajanarandana Yasudanandana Jai Shishi Radha Madhava K. Yagiraj Gona Lamsam K. Shri Vajabhumi Shri Namah K. Bhotanalande. Pandava Sena, all the spiritual warriors. Yes? Ah. It's true. Oma Gyan Timadandasya, Gyanangana Shalakaya, Chaksurmilitam Jena Tasmaya Si Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Sva Padantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So to begin with, thank you everyone for inviting me here this evening. I'll be honest with you, one of the main reasons that I accepted your invitation was that I saw a beautiful photo of my Ishtadev, Lord Narasimhadev, on the invitation. Did you get an invitation? There's Narasimhadev there. Yeah, it's just his appearance day, a couple of days ago. And I took that as a cue to come here and speak something about him this evening. Svadhu, svadhu, pade, pade. And of course have kirtan. I was also thinking that it's appropriate to visit you because your name, your designation, this group is Pandava Sena. That will give chills to the Kauravas if they are Pandava Sena. No, they're still around. Because Pandava Sena means the army of the 5 Pandavas. And that means you basically identify yourselves as spiritual warriors. Yes, you're all spiritual warriors. Maya dakshena prakriti suitam jaram jaram. It means that this divine energy of mine, Krishna says, is very difficult to overcome. But one who surrenders to me can easily overcome it. So actually we're all fighting against the material energy. Material energy is trying to keep us down till she sees that we're pure enough to go home. And we're trying to rise, we're trying to go up. So in a sense, we're all spiritual warriors. And in fact, this particular group, I was reading the history, Pandava Sena, it was created to fight the attempt to close down Bhaktivedanta Manor. Some of you were not born yet, I think. There was an attempt to close down the manor. So some of the youth, they created this Pandava Sena. We're going to fight. And they won. So I thought surely this evening you'd be happy to hear a pastime about the greatest fighter of all time. Who's the greatest fighter of all time? Bhagavan Narasimhadev. Why do we say he's the biggest fighter? Because he defeated the best, or maybe it's better, the worst demon there ever was. There's different asuras. Even today, there's some bad guys out there, but before there wasn't really bad guys. Ravana, he was a bad guy. He was an asura. His name means one who makes the universe scream. Ah. So Hiranyakashipu was the person that Nrsimhadev killed. That was a great battle. So those of you who are from Pandava Sena, you should like to hear these types of Mahabharata stories and Hiranyaksha fighting Lord Varaha and Nrsimhadev killing Hiranyakashipu. At least the boys. So I'd like to share a pastime of Nrsimhadev, not directly with Nrsimhadev, but a pastime about Hiranyakashipu's sister. Did you know he had a sister? She was really ugly. Some of you may know you're from Hindu families. Her name was Holika. And she was a demoness. She didn't have a nice smile. You all have nice smiles, right? She had 2 fangs. Came out of her mouth down to here. She had a hard time eating apples. But she would eat little children and drink their blood. So actually Hiranyakashipu employed his sister during his attempts to kill Prahlad. You know the story, right? Hiranyakashipu was just so angry that his son was contaminated by pure devotion for Krishna. Some people think like that. I've met many devotees, their parents think they got contaminated by joining Hare Krishna. No. We live the pure life. So when Hiranyakashipu learned that his son was actually a Vishnu Bhakta, and Vishnu was Hiranyakashipu's enemy, He became furious. He tried to change Prahlad by sending him to the Karmi school, where the teachers were Sunda and Amarka. They were atheists, and their hero was Hiranyakashipu ki jai. Don't say jai. And they tried to convert Prahlad to become a Vishnu Bhakta, a demon. But he remained a very staunch devotee of the Lord. He never changed. He never left ISKCON. So as a result, Hiranyakashipu was so demoniac, he wanted to kill his own son. Are there any instances of that in modern society, that the parents want to kill the children? Yes. It's a tough subject matter. It's called abortion. They kill the baby in the womb, and they have so many laws to protect that heinous activity. So these things go on. So it's not difficult to understand. Hiranyakashipu, you're a Vishnu Bhakta. You're my son. I'm going to kill you. So what did he do? He threw Prahlad under the feet of elephants, and the elephant's foot stopped 2 inches above Prahlad. Couldn't do it. He threw him in a pit of venomous snakes. Like, as a torture they used to do in the old days, all these cobras and rattlesnakes and all these. He threw them in there, and they went, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. A devotee is so powerful he can convert even a snake. And they used destructive spells. Ooh, Prahlad, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, ooh, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. They threw him from the top of a hill. And who caught him? Lord Varaha. They gave him poison. They actually starved him, but he just kept chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. So they couldn't actually touch him. Rakhe Krishna Mari Ke, Mari Krishna Rakhe Ke. It's Bengali. If Krishna wants to kill you, no one can harm you. Excuse me, if Krishna wants to kill you, no one can save you. And if Krishna wants to save you, no one can kill you. This is the Lord. And we have faith in that. Sometimes devotees voluntarily put themselves into dangerous conditions to share Krishna consciousness, and they come out fine. Because the Lord really is there. He really is there. Especially if you're chanting His name, He really is there. Because He's present in the sound of His name. It's not just some poetry. Krishna is actually present when you chant Hare Krishna mantra. In fact, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that all of Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes are present in the Hare Krishna mantra. And if you read Krishna book, there's lots of nice pastimes, right? Some ferocious ones, some loving ones. All those pastimes which melt the hearts of a pure devotee are present in the sound of Krishna's name. So he really is there. You just have to believe that, and then you'll be peaceful. So eventually Hiranyakashipu said, now I'm going to use the ultimate destructive force. What is the ultimate destructive force? Fire. And according to the Vedas, many destructive, like the wind or a boulder falls on you, or you slip on the ice. And the ultimate destructive force is fire. Because at the end of creation, Shiva does his dance of destruction. He's Nataraj, and he's got that little, gets him going. And he dances so fast, Mahadev, that he creates friction, which creates a fire which destroys the creation. It's not mythology, it's not made up. It's real, it's Purana, it's the history of the universe. Parastasmatu bhavanyo vyakto vyaktat shanatana. Sometimes this world is created, sometimes it's destroyed, sometimes it's created, sometimes it's destroyed. Shiva's the destroyer. Brahma is the creator, the universe. Vishnu maintains the universe. And Shiva, he destroys the universe. So he does it by dance, and his dance makes fire. Like we have a saying in ISKCON, I'm fired up. That's not in the Webster's dictionary. It was made up by one ISKCON devotee, actually. He was just like on Sankirtan. Like, how can I explain? I'm fired up. What do you mean you're fired up? You're on fire? No, I'm fired up. And now how many of you say that you sometimes use that? I'm fired up. Or I'm fried. I'm so fired up, I'm fried. I fried myself. That's ISKCON lingo. I'm fried. I said to my mom one day, I'm fried. No, what, you're fried? What happened? You burned yourself in the pot? What do you mean you're fried? It just means I'm not really doing well. I said, don't use that word, son, fried. ISKCON has all these terms. Like when Prabhupada would take a nap, he was in Paris, he said, I'm going to take a snap. What? I'm going to take a snap. What's that, Prabhupada? A snap. Okay. And then the secretary said, he means nap. It was very cute, Prabhupada would. Or he said when someone left the movement, they blooped. And they asked him, what does bloop mean? Prabhupada said, like in the ocean, if you have a rock, you throw it in the ocean. Bloop. So someone who leaves ISKCON to go into the ocean of material existence, bloop. Sometimes people can't understand us. Like I can't understand people from, where's Bhakta Kalam from? Liverpool. Liverpoolian. I can't understand a word he says. Can you speak English? This is English. You're American English. I can't understand your American English. Anyway, ISKCON has its own language. It takes a while when you join this movement to learn all these. Probably one person said, I'm fried. Am I in danger? No, but it was just... So this fire, this friction, it destroys the whole creation. So this is the ultimate destructive force. So nothing was working. They couldn't kill Prahlad by the elephant, by drowning him, by poisoning him. So Hiranyakashipu, he was learned. Actually, he was actually a Brahmin, but he misused his auspicious birth to become an asura. So he was intelligent. He said, then I'll use fire on Prahlad. I'll to burn this rascal who has taken shelter of my enemy Vishnu. I'll burn him to ashes. Ooh, watch out. So it's described that he chose an auspicious time. He's a demon. He chose an auspicious time. How to explain that. Anyway, to begin his function, it was the month of Falguna. It was the night of the full moon, which for us is what? Gaur Purnima. So he took advantage of the stars. You know, things are successful if you follow. So he had his servants built a big funeral pyre. The funeral pyre means where you take a dead body and you place it there and you light it and it burns the person to ashes. So he built this huge funeral pyre made of wood, and he put a big, the servants put a big wooden seat on top of the funeral pyre in the middle. And then Hiranyakashipu took blessings of Shiva. Because many times we see these demons, they take blessings from Shiva because Shiva's a pretty amazing personality. He's Ashutosh, he's easily pleased and he's easily displeased. And he associates with all these hobgoblins and witches and scary people. But it's a thankless task because by his association they become purified. Why? Because he's the greatest Vaishnava. Vaishnavanam Tashambhu. It says in the Bhagavatam, of all the devotees, Lord Shiva is the greatest because he has the greatest compassion. He dresses, like in a tiger skin and puts ashes in the crematorium. He's got snakes and scorpions, tarantulas all over his body. But he does it on purpose to attract those in the mode of ignorance so that by his association they can become Vishnu Bhaktas. Sadhusanga, sadhusanga, sarvashashtakoi, lavamatra sadhusanga, sarvasiddhi hoy. The devotees' association is so powerful. Even a moment of association with a devotee of Krishna can begin one on the path of perfection. That's why we go out and preach. Even us, we're not pure devotees yet. Well, maybe some of you are, but by your association, people get purified and they become interested in Krishna consciousness. So, he built this huge funeral pyre and a seat there, and he put Prahlad on that seat just so he couldn't escape. It was as high as this greenery here. Little Prahlad sitting up there, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, all happy. He's just happy. Devotee's happy anywhere. He's unaffected by the material contamination because he's so pure. And just to make sure that Prahlad wouldn't escape, Hiranyakashipu had his sister on a wooden seat next to him, and she took Prahlad and put him on her lap. His sister. He put his sister on the funeral pyre. And she took Prahlad on her lap so he couldn't escape. He would get burnt up and die. That's kind of a mean thing to do to your sister. Well, I'm going to kill this little boy. So you get up there and put him on your lap. But what's going to happen to me? Just get up there. Brothers are supposed to what? Protect their sisters. Right? How many of you have sisters? Do you ever argue with your sisters? Shame. Any girls have brothers? Raise your. Okay, so I'm telling all the brothers, from now on you do whatever your sister says. Right, girls? If she wants some ice cream, a new sari, a ride to school, you go, yes, ma'am. Yes, this. I'm just joking. But anyway, sibling rivalry, it's there in youth, but when you get older, your sisters and brothers become your best friends, actually. It's so sweet. It's just nature's way. So that's pretty mean. Hey, sis, get up on the funeral pyre and hold that little boy, and I'm going to light this. But there was actually no problem because Holika had received a boon from Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma gives out a lot of boons. He gave a boon to Hiranyakashipu, which, was almost made him immortal. Actually, at the end of this pastime, the 7th canto, Nrsimhadev says to Brahma, stop giving out boons, okay? It's like, I had to come all the way from Vaikuntha, and I'm pretty busy up there. So she sat there on this wooden chair in the middle of the wood. And he was just smiling, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. She's like, what's wrong with this kid? And so Hiranyakashipu, he lit the funeral pyre. In Vedic culture, the son is supposed to light the funeral pyre of the father, not the other way around. That's the Vedic way. But he did the opposite. He used religion in the wrong way. And he did it with like that. And this fire was the potency of Shiva. It was the potency. He got the blessings of Shiva to use this energy, this most destructive force fire. So this wasn't just any fire. This was the fire at the moment of the destruction of the cosmos. It wasn't like you light a candle or you turn on the stove. No, that was that potency. It was like the fire at the end of the universe. And, it was so bright that Hiranyakashipu couldn't even look at it. It was so powerful. It could burn up the cosmos. It's just supposed to burn up a little bunch of sticks, some logs. So finally, when the fire cooled down, Hiranyakashipu was like this. Ha ha, finally. Prahlad's been burned, and my sister Holika, she had the boon from Lord Brahma that she would never get burned by fire. That's the boon he gave her, Holika. You'll never be burned by fire. So Holika said, yeah, I'll get up there and I'll sit there, no problem. Come on, Prahlad, you're going to get burned, not me. She had a boon from Brahma. So, and then Hiranyakashipu opened his eyes, And there's Prahlad walking away dancing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And where's Holika? She's all burnt up. What about the boon? Not just from some sage, but from Brahma, that she could not be burned by fire. So how did she burn up? The Acharyas say she was consumed by the flames of her offense to Prahlad Maharaj. What's the first offense against the holy name? To criticize or offend devotees who have dedicated their lives for spreading Krishna consciousness. And Prahlad is a real preacher. He didn't want to go to the mountains and practice silent meditation. He wanted to stay in the city and distribute books, something like that, and chant Hare Krishna. He was very compassionate devotee. But she burned up because of her offense. This is called hati mata, to criticize those who have dedicated their lives to preaching the glories of the Lord. And that nullified Brahma's boon. And Prahlad was just skipping away, Hare Krishna, and Hiranyakashipu was thinking, what? I was going to say, oh my God, but I didn't say that. He didn't believe in God. OMG. No, Hiranyakashipu, you do not believe in God, don't say that. He said, all my endeavors to kill Prahlad had failed, and somehow he saves himself by mystic powers. But he was wrong. It wasn't that Prahlad was protected by mystic powers. The reason he didn't die because he was fully protected by Krishna. If you do Krishna's work, Krishna's obliged to take care of you. It's like you join a company, right? And you get sick. Well, their insurance policy, the company's insurance policy, takes care of you. So if you become a devotee, you've got the ultimate security policy. Krishna protects his devotees because out of the 7 billion people on this planet, how many are devotees of the Lord? Less than 1%, less than 0.1%. I do not know how to say it. So those who are doing Krishna's work, Krishna's grateful, and he protects them. Padam padam yat vipadam nitesham. In this world, there's so many dangers. Oh no, I'm the king. I have my soldiers, I have my palace. But there's a saying that there's accidents even on the royal road to Versailles. In France, they had the Palace de Versailles where the kings would live. So they went into Paris, and there was a road only for the king. No common people could go on the road, only the king. And it was pakka, nice rock, there's guards the whole way. What can happen? But padam padam yat vipadam meditation. Prabhupada said one time, don't be surprised when things go wrong. Be surprised when things go right. So padam padam yat vipadam. We have to expect the dangers will come. But because devotees are Krishna's servants, we're protected. Of course, that doesn't mean we're not going to get sick. It doesn't mean we're not going to die. We have to tolerate. The ultimate protection the Lord gives is to protect us from illusion. To forget who I am, to forget who is God, to forget my eternal relationship with Him, to forget to chant my rounds, to forget my gayatris, to forget to take gulab jamans. No, we don't forget that. Maya is very strong. In the spiritual world, she's Yoga Maya. She's arranging all the pastimes in Vrindavan with Vrindadevi. So what we're actually asking for protection is to never forget Krishna. And that's possible. How can you never forget Krishna? If you keep him close to your heart. If someone's very close to you, like in your face, how you gonna, hey, where are you? I'm right here. So how close is Krishna? He's in your heart. He's the super soul. And if you chant Hare Krishna, he's dancing on the tip of your tongue. So there'll be no fear. Fear personified is afraid of the holy name. So there's no need to be fearful. You just chant and leave the rest up to Krishna. If you leave this world, that's not your destiny. That's Krishna's desire. He wants you to serve in some other part of the universe, so he wants to take you home to the spiritual world. But for devotees, the future is always bright. We're on our way back home, back to Godhead. The materialistic people, by their nefarious activities, are going down, down, down to hellish planets. So we have to stumble a little bit. If you're climbing a high mountain, you may slip once in a while. That's okay. Just get back up. Keep climbing. One Muslim priest, he said to me one time, Swamiji, in your movement, do people sometimes fall down from their practices? I said, yeah. In Islam too? He said, yeah, we have a saying in Islam. If you fall down 8 times, stand up 9. I said, oh, that's a good one. So sometimes there's difficulties, but if we persevere, Hari Guru and Vaishnava will always be there to protect us and lift us up. We can go back home, back to Godhead. So when there's danger, chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. So this, the destruction of Holika, this is a festival that's celebrated in India. It's called Holika. Holika. And people in India, even in Vrindavan, they celebrate this on Gaur Purnima. People reenact this pastime to honor the Shraddha, the quality of faith that Prahlad Maharaj had, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead felt it necessary to protect him. And in Vrindavan, they hold this festival at a lake. It's called Prahlad Kund. There's a lake. It's not a Brajbasi name, right? But Prahlad Kund. And they've been holding this festival since time immemorial, because when did this pastime happen? In Satya Yuga. Then there was Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. People are still, because they're so impressed with the faith of Prahlad. I asked Tamal Krishna Maharaj, my dear godbrother, one time, what's the most important quality to look for in a disciple? Should they be clean? Should they be truthful? Should they have a desire to serve? He said, yes, but the most important quality of a disciple is Guru Nishtha, is faith in the Guru. Yasya Devi Para Bhakti or Yata Devi Tata Guru. One who has full faith in his spiritual preceptor, his spiritual master, and the Vedic literatures. The full import of Vedic knowledge, whatever you need to know to get out of this world and back into the spiritual world, you'll get it by blessings. We make more advancement by blessings than we do our attempts at sadhana. That doesn't mean we shouldn't do sadhana, but our masters are very kind, they're very benevolent, and when they see we're trying our best, Shakespeare said it falleth from heaven, from above, as a light rain upon those below. This is mercy. So we try our best. So to honor this Shraddha, this faith that Prahlad Maharaj had in Krishna, they reenact this festival. Even Krishna, when he was here, I was reading, he participated in that festival because Krishna appeared in what? Dwapara Yuga. So even Krishna, every year of his life, he would go to Prahlad Kund and observe this Holika, this festival that they celebrate the destruction. What they do is they build a big effigy, means like out of straw, a big monster witch with 2 big teeth, like that. And they put her on top of this thing and they light the fire and they run around it. Haribol. You might think it looks like some kind of African dance or something, but that's just what they do. They go Haribol, 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 and it burns all night. It's huge. And in the morning when the sun comes up, the tradition is that people go to their homes and they get colored dye in the form of powders, and and with syringes, they throw the dye with the powders. What's that called? Holy. So the original holy, because Krishna appeared in Dwapara Yuga, right? This is Satya Yuga. So the original festival of Holi comes from this pastime of Holika. So you learn something really interesting. We all like Holi, right? Did you play Holi? Ho, ho, Holi, they say in Varshana. I went there. It took me 3 weeks to get the color off my skin. I don't know what kind of powders they use, like chemicals or something. Ho, ho, Holi. And Radha and Krishna would play Holi. That's the mood we celebrate. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in his writings, he says, this is the original Holi, even before Krishna's holy pastimes with his girlfriends 5,000 years ago. So this pastime of honoring, we love to honor Vaishnavas, right? Because Vaishnavas are showing us the way. If you're lost in some horrible jungle with lions, tigers, and bears, oh my, and you don't know how to get out, if someone comes and says, I can take you, and takes you by the hand and leads you out of the jungle, are you not going to feel indebted to that person? And what if that person takes you out of the forest of illusion, the jungle of material existence, and takes you back to the positive alternative, the spiritual world, where every step is a dance, every word is a song, and there's a festival every day? How indebted you feel to that person. You want to glorify your guru, or your gurus, or your friends, or anyone who helps you on the path. You feel indebted like that. So this is our culture, to feel gratitude and express our gratitude and our love to those who are our teachers. And because we feel ourselves the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant, we're the lowest. We have so much thanks to offer the Vaishnavas, the Guru and Krishna. So therefore every morning, before the day begins, Vancha kalpa turubhyascha, kripa sindhu bhayevacha, patitanam pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo namo. We're bowing down to the Vaishnavas in our immediate vicinity, but in our heart, we're bowing down to all Vaishnavas who lived before, because they prepared the way for us. They kept the tradition going. Or like the 6 Goswamis, who wrote books on the science of Krishna consciousness. They went to Vrindavan, they discovered the lost holy places, and they established deities. So they departed, but we're still grateful to them, right? So when we're doing this prayer, Vancha kalpa tudubhyascha, it's not just to, my friend next door, or, the temple of bread. Any Vaishnava, whoever lived, Vaishnav now, and all the Vaishnavas who will come in the future. This is Vaishnav Seva. We feel that without their mercy, where would we be? So Holika. So next time you play Ho Ho Holi, you can remember Holika. Well, I don't think you should meditate. Don't meditate on her too much. They're big fangs and she can't eat apples. But she's dead and gone, but it was all, which the real purport is the faith of Prahlad. So Sri Nrsinga, Jai Nrsinga, Jai Jai Nrsinga, Praladesh Jaya Padma, Mukha Padma Bringam. All glories to Lord Narasimhadev, all glories to Lord Narasimhadev, who is the Lord of Prahlad Maharaj, and like a honeybee, is always engaged in beholding the lotus-like face of the goddess of fortune. Pandava Sena ki, spiritual warriors ki, back home, back to Godhead ki. Take all the holikas with us. Yeah, there's lots of Jagai and Madhais and holikas. They're still out there. We want to take them back to the spiritual world, right? So say Jai. Jai. Okay. Thank you very much. I have to go now. I have another appointment. And there's some prasadam waiting for me. And I'm really hungry. Because when I give a lecture, I use a lot of energy. So I'm like, thank you. All the best. You're carrying on a great tradition. You're spiritual warriors. Don't think you're not. Well, I don't have big muscles and I don't have a sword and no. You're very courageous. You've turned your back on material existence. And Maya always tries to test a devotee to see if they're really sincere about going back to Godhead. She has lots of tricks up her sleeve. So if you can resist, nope, I'm going to chant my rounds. I'm not going to go on the internet and watch this, that. If you're a strict devotee, then you'll make it back home, back to Godhead. So you're spiritual warriors, and I'm very happy to be in your association. I think this is the third time I've come here. So can I come again next year? Excuse me? I don't hear anything. Oh. Okay, I'll come. Thank you. Bye. What are you all going to do? You have prasadam now?
I think we have one last kirtan by Ambrish. But just before that, Maharaj, we've got you a gift. So we know you have a Nishingadev Shila. So we just got you a little jewelry box.
Ooh.
Inside is a conch to worship.
Look at
Shila.
that.
So.
I have a Sheila, and he'll fit perfectly in here. That's really nice. Thank you. That's a good gift. I'm definitely coming back. I've got lots of deities. I think I need more of these. No, sorry. Thank you.
So can we give 3?
I don't want to make him feel bad. Oh, sorry. I better get out of here.
Can we have? Can we have 3 massive Haribols for His Holiness Indradyumna Maharaj?
Where? Where's the book? Well, give me one. Hold on. I'm not going yet. I want to show you something really exciting. Garangi, can you run? That's a sharp little boy. We'll start with that. I keep a diary. Prabhupada told me to go all over the world and preach Krishna consciousness. And he said you should go to the most dangerous places. So I've been to Amazon jungle. And I was preaching to the natives there. They have these bamboo poles with poison darts. And sometimes we would go in the jungle, and because they'd never seen white people before, they were scared. They'd be 20 or 30, like, and I go, no, Hare Krishna. They think we were crazy, Krishna, Krishna. Then I'd put out a pot of halava, and I'd eat a little bit. And they would come and eat the halava. And we made many friends like that. And through a translator, I would speak about Krishna consciousness. And I went into Russia when it was communist to preach. But I couldn't go like this, because if they caught you, they put you in jail for 25 years for preaching religion, because it was communist. So I went in a 3-piece suit, and I had a nice blonde wig, a nice attaché. And I'd walk around Moscow and Leningrad, and I'd just sit on the bus, and people would say, "Where are you from?" "I'm from Vaikuntha." In my geography class, we never... No, it's not in your geography class. It's higher than Moscow. What? Yeah, it's the spiritual world. Can you tell me more? Yeah, come on. So like that. So I go many places incognito. I'm in Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Dagestan. I have many friends, Islamic friends there. I go to tell them. And when I come to the country, I'm not dressed like this. I have my 3-piece suit with my blonde wig. They say, "You're too old to have blonde hair." It's true. I need a gray wig. But they're very suspicious. So say, "Why have you come?" I say, "Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. Alaikum shalom. Akbar. Alhamdulillah. There is no God but God, and Muhammad is his prophet. Sir, please come in our country." To be a little intelligent. And I have many Islamic brothers and sisters like that. So I go all over the world. I've been practically every country of the world. It's a real adventure meeting people. And I wrote a book, Adventures of a Traveling Monk. It's for young people, because young people, once you graduate from school, you can go on an adventure, right? They call that the gap year in Australia. So this is my book about my travels, 25 chapters, different places in the world I've been. And it's really exciting. It's all adventure, but I throw in little pieces of wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. Like when I'm going through somewhere or I meet somebody, then I'll quote a verse that's relevant to that particular moment. So actually it's a good way to appreciate Bhagavad Gita. And many people say they start reading it at 7 o'clock at night and they finish at 8 o'clock the next morning. And it's published by HarperCollins, and Jay Shetty, my friend, wrote the little introduction here. So this book is available. It costs £750. No, how much does it cost? £9. She said 10. There's a reduction for the kids. So if you'd like to take one, you can just read it. What happens is people read it. It's for young people. They read it when they're going to sleep, and they have dreams. Some scary dreams, some nectarian dreams, but it just touches your heart to see how Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement is being spread all over the world. So, Adventures of a Traveling Monk. Radhanath Swami also gave a nice introduction there, Garanga. So if any of you want to take a book, £9, that I'll stay a little longer and I'll sign it. I'll give a dedication. And I've got a really good signature. You'll see. This is another book. For 5 years now, I only give lectures on Vrindavan. This lecture is very unusual for me tonight. Holika. But I've been living in Vrindavan for many years. And I describe all the holy places that are in this book on the eastern bank of the Jamuna. The first one was about all the holy places on the western bank. But there's lots and lots of holy places in Vrindavan. And if you just go there and look at them, you may not understand. A sadhu sees with his ears, not his eyes. So I've spoken about these holy places for a long time now. And my disciples, can you open that up? I sing so much I lose my voice. See here, all my lectures are transcribed. Radhakund, Shamakund, Govardhan Hill, Prem Sarovara, Varshana, and there's lots of beautiful photographs as well. But anything you need to know when you go to Vrindavan about a holy place is in this book. I researched like thousands of hours, met many sadhus, read through all of Prabhupada's books. So it's called The Sacred Forest of Vrindavan. Eastern bank of the Jamuna. How much is this? 30, 29. 30, okay. So if you take, if you can't go to Vrindavan, this is a perfect way to be in Vrindavan. If you go to Vrindavan and take this, you'll understand everywhere you're going, okay? So I'll sit here for a while. Let's see if I have a pen.
We've got a chair and everything just in the foyer.
I want to sit here.
You want to sit here?
Yeah, she's giving me too many instructions.
With the notebooks then.
Okay, hold on.
I'll be running. I'll be 2 seconds.
And I'm hungry. Whoa! This is a Mont Blanc. This pen's maybe $500-600. I was on a plane, actually on the way to India, and I dressed like this, and one man said to me, and he said, "What's gotten into you?" I said, "Prasadam." I actually said that. "What's prasadam?" I said, "Mercy." "Oh, you're one of those religious guys who believes in God." I said, "Yeah, I did." So anyway, we had a long talk. And at the end, he apologized. He said, "I'm so sorry. I treated you like that. I can see that you're a serious practitioner, and you've even given me a little food for thought about the existence of God. So I'm very happy. He said, can I keep in touch with you? I said, yeah, sure. And he said, because I treated you wrong, I want to give you my favorite pen. His father gave him this pen when he was young. It's a Mont Blanc. It's real gold. And I said, no, I'm a monk. I can't take it. He said, come on, you got a watch on. And he said, take it. I said, okay, I'll use it to sign my books. He said, what book? So I gave him this book. And he said, sign it. So I said, to my new friend, Hare Krishna, and we're still in touch. He's reading, now he's asking questions like, how can you prove the soul exists? What happens at death? How do you know that God's blue? That's preaching, that's the adventure, right? So I'm going to sign these books with this pen. If I have any books, That you sold that already? Did you sell those?
Yeah, sorry, Guru.
I was getting really encouraged. Wow, we're doing really good here. Okay, so I'll stay a few minutes. Thank you, everyone. I'll be here for a while, and I'll look forward to seeing you next year. Haribol. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Ki, Shri Prabhupada Ki, Om Namo